You're listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love.
The Energy is the Love podcast.
The Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love.
The Energy is Love podcast.
The podcast for the universe.
The Energy is Love podcast.
Hi.
Hi. That's cute. Kind of sounds like an aviary. I feel like there's so many birds right now.
You think so?
Not quite an aviary, but yeah.
There's quite a bird.
Yeah, it sounds so many. There's quite a birds.
There's quite a birds.
Quite a bird.
Didn't we talk about that last time? How lucky we are that there's such a... What about the hummingbirds?
Yes.
The
Not
hummingbirds
today, but
that we
was
saw
cool
the other
yesterday.
night with the fire.
That was fun.
That was way
awesome.
fun. What was he doing?
He like dive bombed and then was playing. And they were going back and forth. There was two of them that were playing.
Like in a roller coaster?
Yeah. That was cute. Instead of going loopy-loop, it was doing a U.
I wonder if, because we had the fire going that night, I wonder if they were like riding the thermal waves of the fire.
Yeah.
Because I bet you hummingbirds see stuff differently than we do, obviously.
No, I think they see with our like human eyes. I think that's cool. I didn't think about that. They were like playing in the lilacs though.
In the lilacs that were on fire. You're cute.
You're cute.
Well, here we are again.
Yeah.
Back at it.
Here we go.
Uncomfortable again. It takes such a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the video format. I really like what we're doing. I like the extra creativity that comes with it. I like being able to go in and like pull some more not media, clips, branding, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's
you.
Is that
It's
me?
not me.
Hold on. Everybody don't move. Everybody freeze. It's totally me.
I felt something. I got nervous.
I'm totally making more noise.
Are you?
Yeah. That's what it is. Okay, we'll just move that there. This is wonderful.
Is it me?
Okay. And welcome to the Energy is Love podcast. Tune in each week as we release brand new episodes recorded in our beautiful backyard.
It's so pretty.
It
Like
is
this,
very pretty.
I was just sitting here looking at it and how the willow comes down and the tree is so pretty in the sun. I was like, oh, that's
It's
really
perfect.
pretty.
It is perfect.
Yeah.
It's the
It's really
perfect time of
pretty.
day to record as well.
I think
Because
so.
it's not too hot.
Not yet.
Summer is in full force.
I don't even.
I'm all over the place, dear.
How many yawns? So.
We need to do something different because the last few episodes, I get so stressed out setting up everything
Okay.
because we have done over almost 200 podcasts now. But because we have a camera set up, I get super paranoid and I don't remember what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then it takes me like 5 minutes, actually longer. It takes me like 20 minutes on the show to actually get my bearings and make sense rather than just have it's just so beautiful. Just spritzing.
Missed. I saw gnats, so I'm like, oh.
To fight the gnats.
Yeah. It's good. It's good stuff, I think.
It is good stuff.
It
So
smells good.
there were some things that I wanted to talk about at the very, very beginning before we got into anything else.
Oh, is it how we need to do something different because you get really stressed?
Yes.
What can I do?
So if you would like to sponsor this podcast, feel free to reach out at energieslovepodcast.com and click on the contact tab up at the top.
Is there something new about where Energy is Love podcast?
Not yet.
Oh,
Not yet.
I saw you though.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Oh,
We're currently
Stay
working on
tuned.
revamping the website finally. The thing that I've been talking about doing for months and months and months. We're finally getting around to it. So yeah, in the not too distant future, the website will look a little bit different. Actually, it's going to look a lot different.
yeah.
We're going to do a lot of different stuff with it.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to sponsor the podcast, hit us up. You can send us anything, merchandise, money, clothes. I guess that's merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
What else? What else could people send us?
Gifts of love.
Yeah, I suppose if you want to sponsor the podcast with gifts of love,
Crystals.
we'll take it. Crystals. Any and all of these things we will happily receive. And then you will be a sponsor of the podcast. And we'll talk about you ad nauseum. And each episode we will wear whatever it is that you provide for us.
Now, hold on. That is not a guarantee. I'm going to throw a disclaimer in there right now because we know some smart asses.
Yes.
And I'm not going to like have a dildo headband or something, be sitting here wiggling my unicorn.
So unicorn
so no.
Just this big
We
purple,
will not.
like horse.
You know, I'm going to hit you with it too. I'll sit here and be like, huh.
You wouldn't even be able to keep your head up. The whole time you just be bumping the microphone.
Makes you think I'm going to wear it. Maybe you're going to wear it. So we will not
I'll
wear
wear it
anything that
proudly.
you send.
Fully erect.
Now,
Unicorn.
if we find it amusing, we may wear it. But if we do not, don't be offended.
Don't be offended.
Yes.
Yeah. But feel free
We
to
may.
sponsor said podcast that you are watching. You can also go to the website and click on the donate button and send us money. All right.
Now, I have a question.
Yeah.
So if they can send us stuff, is there an address?
Not yet.
Good luck figuring that one out.
You have to contact us first.
We should get a P.O. box.
We could get a P.O. box.
Let's do that because I don't really want to say, hey, thanks for the gift. Here's
our
my
street
home address.
Yeah.
You know?
Just send it on down.
No, I think we're going to have to get a P.O. box before you can do that.
Yeah. Well, we can
Yeah.
get a P.O. box and then you can send us stuff.
So,
That'll
yeah.
work. We actually already have a P.O. box.
Well, your mom's in for a surprise. She's going to open some mail and be like, what the hell?
Yeah. We could use her P.O. box.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that what you meant? Or is there a surprise P.O. box I don't know about?
No, I don't
No?
have a surprise P.O. box hiding.
I just
Waiting
wasn't sure if
for-
we're on the same page. You
waiting
never
for
know when
swag.
you're going to want to do a quick address. I don't know. I was trying to be funny.
It's how I
faded.
order all the secret stuff for you.
Yeah?
All the surprises that I get you, I have them shipped to the P.O. box.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's where I have all your scent.
To my P.O. box.
Hmm.
And you just sneak them before I get there. You're cute.
You don't know. You
I
don't really
don't.
look at it very often.
I don't know.
There's some weird mail in there.
You're so funny. You're so cute. You really are a beautiful woman, Stephanie.
Thank you, handsome man.
I am jealous of your beauty because you look all radiant in the sunlight.
Do I? Do I
Yes.
look radiant?
I'm very
oh,
radiant.
wow.
And
Is
I
it
feel
because I
like
just spritzed bug repellent on me?
perhaps
Is it a... Is
you
it...
have a beautiful sheen.
It's an essential oil glue.
You are glowing.
Thank you. It's called DEET.
No.
No, there's no DEET in it. I'm just kidding. Thank you.
I think it's working.
Awesome.
So this is episode 195,
Is this...
right?
I don't know.
Check your phone.
Okay. Usually you're like, don't do that.
No. I think it's episode
No,
195
195. Okay.
because I believe we did
Okay.
194 last week.
Yeah, we've got 2 turns.
It is 195.
It is.
Yeah. 5 more episodes to episode 200.
What is 200 going to be? Should we do
Naked.
naked?
Naked.
Well, I would say yes, but now there's the camp.
Yeah, just put pasties on. We'll just cover up with duct tape like The Fifth Element.
Yeah. Okay. It's going to look a little different.
I'll wear the same outfit as you.
You will you?
I'll duct tape up like The Fifth Element, and then
Yeah, how freaking funny that would be
yeah,
if we're sitting here like that.
that would be funny.
Oh my god.
Episode 200. Stay
Oh.
tuned.
We're going to have to come up with something else, but that's a funny thought.
We'll come up with something fun.
Yeah, it's not going to be that.
No, we've got
No.
5 episodes to figure it out.
Okay.
Actually, only 4 now because by
4?
the time this one goes out.
So
So yeah, we'll figure it out.
starting now, we got 5 weeks. We got a month and a half. So it's going to be July.
hmm
We're going to have to figure it out for July.
If you have any recommendations, hit us up.
Yeah.
Let us know what you'd like to see on the 200th episode.
Yeah.
As I was doing some of the creative work into said YouTube channel / website, kind of rebranding and redesigning what the podcast is because it has changed so significantly. I realized how, like, I read to you that little thing that I wrote, like the description of the podcast, and it made me so happy to sit and think about it and come up with what to write, and then also to like, I mean, I read what I wrote before back in the day when the podcast first came out, right? And I just kind of threw that out there and never did anything with it. And then to go back and rewrite this one, and it's a simple like 3-sentence or 4-sentence or something like that. It's nothing magnificent in the sense of, you know, it's not a huge haiku or something, but I love the fact that you and I do this. I love the fact that you and I have continued to do this, and I love where it has taken us. And the line that I included at the end made me so happy when it came to me. Do you remember what it is?
It was so very sweet. It was like our journey together or something like that, but I don't remember what it was exactly.
Here, hand me your phone. I'll read it too.
God.
I was going to pull it up on
Do you
my
see
phone,
where my quick launch to it is?
but we are recording with
Your phone?
with my phone. So I recently changed the description, the show
I thought you said
description.
it wasn't updated yet.
Well, it's updated on the YouTube channel
Okay.
because I went
Oh
and
my
updated
goodness.
it. But I honestly can't even remember now what the old one said. Holy shit, you subscribe to a bunch of fucking channels on YouTube.
Just search the one. It's easier just to search. And now I have to do the whole.
How many do you subscribe to?
Well, now I have to be all because YouTube Music is like taking over for Google Play.
Is this music on here?
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
Do you even subscribe to our fucking channel on here?
Yes. Jesus.
Are you sure?
Search it. Yes.
Okay, you subscribe. That was close.
Did I almost get kicked off the show?
We almost had to push pause. Have a conversation. So this is the new thing that I wrote. And I think I wrote this yesterday morning.
Yeah, was
Right?
it this morning? I think I saw you writing it this morning. No?
No, I think it was yesterday morning.
Okay.
Anyways,
It's kind of busy few days.
yeah, it's been
my brain's a little.
we're going to get to that.
Oh, I don't think so. What did you write?
It's been a couple of busy few days.
It's been a busy few days.
Join hosts Steph and Craig as they explore the ins and outs of life, love, and relationships. They dive deep into thought-provoking topics such as emotional health, sex, universal energy, and what real vulnerability looks like. They are there. They are.
They are?
I should probably just change that to they are. They're a happily married couple doing their best to not let their past traumas get in the way of their future. So that last
It's
line.
so beautiful.
That last line made
I
me so
love
happy
it.
when it came to me.
Yeah.
And I think it's a perfect example or a perfect description of our life and our relationship and what you and I kind of are all about. Because we came to the table with fuckloads of shit, you know?
Not I.
Like if we were to rewind and record an episode on like the first month of us dating, this table would be covered with stuff.
Oh
So
my
many
God.
different
Can you
things.
even imagine?
No,
Oh my goodness.
can't we? We're completely different people.
We are completely different people.
Yeah, completely different people. But
Hmm.
I think we brought so much to the table in regards to our pasts and what we
Yeah.
had to process, deal with, get over, all that kind of stuff. And it's still like we're still in the thick of it, right? We're still doing it and
Yep.
working it, but it has gotten so much easier.
Oh yeah?
Don't you think? Think about the shit that we've had to not just move through, but like think specifically about your baggage.
Why are we focused on my baggage like
Just
you
to-
don't have any?
Let's talk about you, Stephanie.
Okay.
This episode is going to be.
I feel like the last episode I dominated, so I get a pass. I get
The
a
last
hard
episode
pass.
was definitely all about Steph.
So hard pass.
in such a wonderful
hard pass,
way.
Hard pass.
No, but we don't have to get into your baggage. I'm just talking about, think about how much easier it is and how much almost lighter the baggage seems. Like, seriously, go back 8 years from when we first
Yeah.
met.
8 years from when we first met?
Go back 23 and a half years from
23.
now.
Okay. All right. I'm there.
And just think about how much heavier things felt and how much more difficult things were.
Well, yeah. It was like impossible. Like I didn't even dream this big then.
Yeah.
So I dream bigger now. Like this wasn't even a possibility then. So baggage is out, but it's uncovered. I'm like, oh shit. Did you see what was under there? Like, damn.
So
now what are
much.
we going to do? Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely very different. I like to make jokes, but
It's gotten easier, right?
it has gotten easier. It's gotten different. It's different.
Do you think that's because the baggage is different? Or do you
Yes.
think because we're different? Or both, I
Both.
guess.
Both. Very much both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some baggage is the same because some of it's always going to be what it is. But the way we move through it is different. So that's where we shift.
Yeah.
How things affect us are different. So that's how we shift what we're willing to see as opposed to what we chose not to before is different. And then there's just some stuff that we've weeded out and don't have to deal with anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's easier. As I say that, we're going to uncover some gems here. Next week, we're going to be like, oh no, we take it back. It is not easier.
Well, right
Mercury, where did you come from?
Right now in the moment, it feels this way. I feel optimistic and hopeful.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, it's a wonderful, beautiful day. We have cold beer.
Everything's good.
It's amazing. Mm-hmm. And you're right. Tomorrow, it's going to be like, what the fuck?
No, it'll be fine. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
See, look at the birds. It's like beautiful.
Yeah. I like it though, babe.
Yeah.
So when I wrote all that, those handful of sentences is the new description for the podcast, and it will update and go out everywhere. So all the different platforms and stuff will now carry that description as opposed to the old description. And yeah, we're totally rebranding the show. We are in the midst. We're in the midst. Midst is a
no,
weird
it's with a
word.
D. It is. That's funny. That word just came up in a thing I was writing, and I'm like, I cannot convince myself that midst is the right word for this. So then I just was like, middle. I just exited out. Yeah.
But we're in the midst of a rebrand.
Yeah, there it is again. I have a question.
Yeah?
Because you keep skirting around the question, but if I ask you directly point blank on the podcast, you don't squirt around. Squirt around? Yeah, squirt around.
You know me.
All right.
You do know me. I do like squirting around.
It's like a fire hose. Why do you put my name first? Because I think you should not. Is it like, are you...
Well, give these people an understanding of what you're talking about.
And with the podcast, the description, we've got people showing up. Oh, God. They're going to come and get us.
That's totally home.
I think it is, but I don't know if it's about graduation or not.
It's okay. Let's just pretend that it's not.
Shoot.
And then that way...
No, because if it's graduation stuff, I want to get it for Stevie.
I don't think it's graduation stuff.
Okay.
Asher will take care of it. He can answer the door.
Oh, he's going to come back here and talk to us.
You think so?
I don't know. Let's just try. For the podcast description, you say it's brought to you by Steph and Craig. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah. Hi. Somebody's carrying a poster.
What is it, bud?
You look so pissed off. What's going on, Mijo?
We're recording.
Do you know who they want to talk to?
Can you tell them that we're in the middle of a podcast right now?
Maybe you go talk to them real quick.
Oh, my God. I don't want to stand up.
I'll go.
God.
I'll go. I'll answer the question. You're good, baby. You look good in a dress. So while she's gone, dealing with whatever mystery our front yard, I'm so curious as to what this is. They're like here to celebrate something. Anyways, I could sit and ramble on about whatever's going on there in the front yard that you cannot see, or I'll answer her question. So not recently, it's been quite a while now. I added Stephanie's name to the podcast. So when you go and look at it, you'll see her name on stuff, because obviously she's a part of the podcast and she's the co-host of the podcast. And she thinks that it should be Craig and Steph as opposed to Steph and Craig. And in my mind, first off, it doesn't really matter. And I know that she probably doesn't think it matters either. But in my mind, it's like, why would I not put her name first? Even though it doesn't matter. Like, there's no difference. But why would I not do that? She's not just the woman that I love. She's not just the most amazing person I've ever met. She's not just my best friend. She's not like the best thing that's ever happened to me. She's not like the soul and whole reason that this podcast exists. She's all of these things. So of course her name's going to go first. And now she has to go back and listen to that. I love you, Stephanie. What was it, babe?
It was a nice birthday thing.
For?
They had signs. I almost walked to them before I realized that they were holding
social
signs
distancing.
back. I was walking. I'm like, nope. So you have signs.
For?
Happy birthday. It's your birthday month.
Who's
my birthday month?
Oh, was it the home teachers?
Yes.
That's so funny.
Yeah. They kept apologizing to me.
Because they interrupted?
Yes. They're like, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, how could you? It's okay.
You should have told them, we record every Wednesday night. You can come watch if you'd like.
I didn't think that fast.
Yeah. That's so nice.
It was very nice. They brought a cupcake. I said Asher could have it.
There you go.
He said he didn't want it.
I shall eat the cupcake then.
You know, I have to say, if they happen to look up this podcast,
they're in for a treat.
they're going to be surprised.
They're in for a treat.
Okay.
Let's crack open another beer.
I don't think that's the only thing that, I mean.
So people that don't live in Utah and aren't familiar with the Mormon church, you have, if you are a part of the church, which we are not part of the church, but because we live in a small town where the church is the predominant religion and the
we
majority
both
of
are
people
from the church. Like, we both have ties to it.
Well, yeah.
We just have no longer.
Yeah, we're not
And
a part
for
of the
many,
church.
many years, we have not.
But there's a thing called like your home teachers, your visiting home teachers.
Yes.
Like, what's the official name of it? I guess just your home teachers.
I think so.
Right? But there are people.
Oh, no, there's an A. There's the women's group.
Well, Relief Society.
That's it. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, Relief Society.
It's not that, though.
Is the name of the. It's where the women go during church. They have to go to the Relief Society. That's such a silly name. We could go. Anyways.
No.
Home teachers come and bring you cupcakes on your birthday month, if they're cool, and they just kind of check up on you, and they're nice, and I don't know how to describe. I'm sure they have an official.
Pretty nice. We brought cookies and.
Yeah, they're super sweet people.
Super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know what is their purpose. Do you know?
I think it's to get you.
But if you're a part of the church, do they still come?
Well, it's because we don't. I don't know. I haven't ever gone to church
to see if home teachers
to see
still
if
come.
that happens. So I don't
That's
know.
so interesting.
I have no idea.
I'll have to text my buddy and see.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And I think maybe they don't come if you go to church. I think they just go after non-members.
Well, it's smart that they brought me chocolate.
Right? There's more of this at church if you come. Like, we can actually go buy it at the store ourselves. No, they're super sweet.
Yeah, they're really nice. And then they know Asher. They keep getting surprised. I swear they change every time. I can't keep who they are straight because I don't see them enough except for when they show up. They come with a list. Stephanie's house. They don't wear a name that says, "Hi, I'm
so-and-so
coming to Stephanie's house." Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So I'm like, but they know Asher. So it's always a different one.
Yeah.
And because of this perpetual growth spurt that he's on, they're like, "Oh my gosh, are you feeding him Miracle Grow?" It was cute.
We feed him ramen and what else?
He's so tall.
Yeah, he is tall.
He's so tall.
I was looking at his legs the other day, and he's
not even done growing. He's
the
just
lankiest Great Dane kid you've ever seen in your life.
Was it like when you picked him up today and you were carrying him? Like, you've got to bend because.
Yeah, because otherwise he's this plank of wood that.
He's super long.
Mm-hmm.
He's super long.
He's a 2x4.
He is. He's super long.
So, I answered your question.
Okay.
While you were busy taking care of the home ladies, the home teachers. So you're gonna have to go back and listen and watch and find out why I put your name first and the reason behind it.
You should put your name first.
Well, I know you feel that way.
I feel strongly about that.
Well, I explained my answer, so you'll have to go back. And
listen. I didn't hear it. Like, I can't be like rewind.
Well, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel,
I do.
You can go watch it.
Gosh.
Let's talk about last week's episode, Steph. Let's talk about how you're feeling since last week's episode.
Oh. Why?
Because it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because it's important. Because it's
I'm
profound.
Like really jerky. See, I'm over here like, I have a hard time sitting still because I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I'm like, wiggle.
It's okay. You can wiggle away.
But I watch when I see the clips. I'm over here like, and you're just sitting there cool.
No.
Well, I shimmy the whole time.
I feel like all I'm doing during this show, especially when we drink beer, is pulling away from the mic to burp and make it like subtle underneath my breath and then coming back in.
I do that too. Can you tell?
Mm-mm.
Or is it too bad wiggly? So you have no idea.
It's too subtle.
Yeah.
So last week was episode 194.
Yep.
And it was a super big episode for you.
Yes.
People can go back and listen and find out why.
Yeah.
But how do you feel now? How do you feel now that you've expressed what you've expressed, that there's no longer anything that you have to keep hidden in that space?
In that space? Well, I think it's opened up a lot more space for question for me now.
Yeah.
On things that I couldn't really see to question.
Do you have a example of that? I'm curious.
Yes, but I don't know if I can say it just yet.
It's okay.
Um,
What else?
it has been harder than I thought it would be. I thought the hardest part would be the saying it and then letting it go out there.
Talking about it and mentioning it.
And then I was going to be liberated. And then the weight was going to be off my chest. And it was just going to be like, well, there it is. I did the hard thing and now I'm free. And here we go. And instead it was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's brought up a lot.
It's been hard. It's been really hard. I've spent a large amount of time in, I guess, sorrow. I've been very sad. I've been crying really heavily a lot and very afraid. I'm surprised at how much shame I have that it's brought up. And I don't know if it's because, I guess I do know, because I was about to say, I don't know if it's because, and then I was like, yeah, you dumbass, of course that's what it is. So, okay. It's because of all of it that was never felt and the hiding, and now that that's not there, it's all of that's caught up with me.
When you say all of it that wasn't felt, what do you mean?
Well, if I didn't admit it, I wasn't admitting it to myself, certainly wasn't admitting it to everybody else, and it just got to where I was. I've only gotten to where I had an understanding of it, which has been rough these last few years. That's a lot of, like, whew. So I just brought it all out. So I've been running so fast and hard. I think one of the things I said was it just like it all caught up with me. And so instead of feeling liberated, which is what I thought was going to happen, I felt like I was crushed. And that's, I don't know, it's kind of embarrassing.
Why do you think it's embarrassing, babe? I mean, I guess it feels embarrassing, but...
Because I have it really, really easy. I have it really easy. I'm not in physical threat. Nobody's going to come and hurt me or kill me. I haven't brought shame to my family. I'm safe. And I have a husband who loves me and understands completely and is supportive in so many ways that I don't have to, it doesn't threaten our relationship whatsoever. My aunt heard it and reached out with nothing but love. My mom's had nothing but love. Like, all I'm receiving is positive things. And
that's pretty amazing.
That's pretty amazing. So I'm not at risk of anything. And then you have these kids that are a part of the church and coming out and getting shunned from the church and shunned from their families. And I'm over here like, oh, it's so hard. I feel like I got crushed. And it's like, oh my God. So that's why it's kind of embarrassing, because it literally could not be going any easier for me. But I've been carrying it for so long, and it's built to so big. Like right now, I feel very detached from my body talking about this. I'm like, oh, I can't really feel when I'm talking about it. Yeah. It's too much like, oh, I see, like, I'm still afraid of what's to come.
Something else, right?
I'm still very afraid. I'm very afraid. I'm afraid of how we still have one kid in school, and I'm afraid of what ramifications he might have, because this is a small town, and I'm like, I should have fucking waited. I should have just waited.
No.
So I'm super scared about any of that. I'm afraid that people won't feel comfortable coming to me as a business now for what I do because of this. I'm afraid that I'm going to lose that. So, it's not a big deal. I'm just afraid that I've ruined our son's life and the whatever part of financial that I brought to the table and my career and passion. I just feel like all that's tanked out.
Yeah, I mean, I get the fears, that stuff that you've expressed to me and stuff like that. I understand the fears, but you can feel stupid.
Yeah, I do. It's what it is.
But
I'm just going to feel it.
Good. I guess I don't need to try to remedy that then.
Yeah, I get to feel it.
You do get to feel it. You get to feel all of this.
Yeah.
You no longer have to hide this and avoid this and not express it, not feel it, not process it. You simply get to now be who you are.
Yeah.
That's
So,
a huge fucking
yeah,
deal, Steph.
it is. It is. I don't know what comes next. I thought, I was like, well, nothing changes. This doesn't change anything. And then I was like, I don't know what comes next now, actually.
Yeah.
I've never felt this. I've never moved through life this way. I don't know what it means. I don't know what changes are coming. I don't know what to expect. There's part of me that's like, I think it would have been easier. It's like you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Like it would have been easier if I would have just bit the bullet and got through it when I was younger, when I figured it out. If I would have just been brave and just did it.
Yeah.
But I was like, hell no.
Such a different time back then, though, right?
Yeah, but was it?
Yeah, babe, it was.
I don't know.
When we were growing up in the 80s and 90s, it was a way different time.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I guess
it wasn't that safe to come out back then, even.
No, I didn't, so that's okay.
Yeah. It's way, way different today.
Yeah. So I'm a little uncomfortable.
You waited until the perfect time.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, well, good thing is I'm handling it like a champ.
You actually are.
That's another thing that's that I had this image of, being strong and standing up and hair blowing and like my staff down and owning who I am. Instead, I'm like, oh my God, can I just go hide now?
Go cry in the bathroom some more.
Yeah. I came out and this is not what I expected. This isn't what I expected to feel. I thought it gets easier now. And maybe that's coming.
Yeah.
It's just I have to get through the shock of this. But I have not hit that, I can take a breath moment. Now it's just like, it feels like it's crushing just a little bit more. But it's okay.
It is okay.
I'm working through it.
It's a big step. And you're doing a great job of working through it. And I'm proud of you. Day by day by day by day.
There we go.
Yeah. You had a whole bunch of things last week that you were like, there's so many parts of this and the story and so many things from the past that you wanted to express and say. Does any of that come up right now?
No, right now it's just...
Right now you're just tip over the fucking table.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that'll come. And
in the back of the head as you run inside.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to feel now. So.
Yeah. It's okay. It's all good.
I can't get... Those stories will be there. Right now, I got to figure out what the fuck I'm doing, how I feel.
Well, what's next?
I don't know.
What else from your past do we need to talk about on the podcast?
What's from your past do we need to talk about on the podcast?
I don't know. I don't think there's anything.
I'm breaking. I get a moment. Like right now, the equivalent that I can offer is I'm back to knock knock and fart jokes. Like that's all I got. I'm not gonna say them. Don't worry. But like that is my emotional availability right now. I think. Yeah. I'm a little taxed.
Rightfully so, my love.
Yeah.
It's okay. I was teasing. Obviously, you don't.
Were you?
Bring something.
Because I felt like, oh my God, I think I just spit all over.
No, you're good, baby. It's a huge thing, and I'm proud of you. And I'm going to keep lovingly nudging you in the direction of talking about it.
Okay.
Expressing it, sharing it.
I feel like I can't get comfortable now. Like suddenly, I'm like, oh man, this chair is kind of painful. Like,
But I'm going to keep nudging you in that direction.
Well, I kind of want to talk about it because I'm like, I don't just know because clearly I can't be the only one, but I know for a fact that I am not the only one.
Yeah.
And I know that, I don't know, shit. I was just thinking maybe it could help somebody, but I realized that I'm over here like, this was hard. And then I feel like my whole life caught up with me and I haven't stopped crying. It doesn't really make it like a good advocacy or whatever to say, hey, you're safe to speak who you are. I'm like, it sucks. You're going to get hit with a boulder. That's not what I'm trying to say.
I guarantee you it's helped somebody.
I hope so.
Already. I promise
I feel like I can't breathe. We need to change the subject. I'm about to go into a meltdown.
Okay.
I think.
If it's helped you
Oh God.
in any way, shape, or form, please reach out and let us know, so that
Yeah.
Stephanie realizes that she's not only not alone,
Mhm.
but that it benefited you in some way, shape, or form. I have had I've had the hardest fucking time with our son this week.
Bro.
And it's not even this week. It's been for like the last, 2 or 3 weeks?
I don't know.
Something like that.
I'm having a panic attack over here. It's okay.
You have your panic attack over there. Here's
like I
a
might
card.
need a minute.
You can hold on to the card.
Are you gonna guess it?
It's the 9 of clubs.
Yes. No.
I've had the hardest time with him, Steph,
Yeah.
and it's driving me insane. And
Yeah.
last night, just for the listeners who don't live in our house, the boy had a sleepover the night before with a friend, and he stayed up super, super late, and then he was like awake. He was just a monster by the end of the night because he hadn't slept. And so he
lived it up. There was the most freedom he's had since all of the crazy. So there was no sleep till Brooklyn.
It was. And which resulted in a demon child.
A little bit.
And he fell asleep on the couch about 7:30, and we're like, that's no big deal. Because he woke up as we turned the TV off. I think I woke him up.
You woke him
I
up.
probably woke him up. That sounds like a dad thing to
No,
do.
it was.
Looking back, I probably should have just let him sleep on the couch for a
I
few
think
hours.
somebody suggested that.
Well,
I don't know who. But anyways. Besides the point.
He wakes up and he's a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And he's spitting fire and brimstone all over the house. He was terrible. And it was so stressful and it was so hard. And I have all of this anxiety and fear over the impending. It's not even, I mean, really, I'm just afraid that he's going to fight us, and me specifically now, for the next 4 years until he graduates high school and chooses to either move out or still play video games in the basement. But I'm so afraid that he's going to fight me every step of the way. And I don't know what to do about it. I don't know how to avoid it. I don't know how to, and you know what I mean by fight me, just constant, because he'll go through phases. He'll go through these things where he stands up to me.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I'm done. I'm not listening to, and that's what he was doing last night in his stupor of sleepiness. And, I don't handle that very well at all. I don't. And I was thinking about it last night when everything was kind of said and done, and you had gone down after a while to tuck him in and talk to him because he came up and demanded. Anyways, I realized as I was laying in bed, I was thinking about what I had to let go of. Thanks, neighbor sprinklers. I was thinking about what I had to let go of with him. And it's these ideas in my head that I had to let go of. It's this picture of what I wanted things to be and what I was hoping things would be. I have to let go of those things because I feel like those are the things that I'm holding on to that are causing me stress and anxiety. So for new listeners of the podcast, Steph and I got married 8 years ago, and we both came to the relationship with kids. And so we have a blended family, and I met Steph when Asher was 6 years old, and he's 14 now. So I've been in his life, and I've been raising him since he was 6 years old. And my goal, not just my goal, it is my goal, but my goal the entire time was to have him experience my love so completely that he always knew and would lay his head down on his pillow at the end of the day and know that I love him completely, wholly, deeply, just as if I had made him. That's what I want. And that's always been my goal. And so then when things get in the way of that goal, I'm sad. It saddens me. And so then I was thinking about, how do I let go of that goal? Because it is the thing that I'm holding on to so tightly, the image of what that is, that I like, that idealistic image, Steph, of him. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just not the way that I pictured it. It's not the way that I wanted it to go. I didn't want it to be this hard. I wanted it to be much easier. I wanted it to be like, he just knew that I was his dad and that he could love me and trust me and that I was always going to be there and all of these kind of different things. And so then I feel like when he's fighting me and when he's butting heads with me and when he's, you know, like doing all of these different things, I feel like I'm failing at giving him that that experience of laying his head down on his pillow each night and having that knowingness. And as I'm saying all of these things and like verbalizing all of these things out loud, because this has been kind of spinning in my head since last night and longer than that, really, I realized that it's almost 100% certainty that if I was his biological father and had been raising him since inception, we would be going through the exact same things.
Yeah.
We would be experiencing the exact same stuff. And the fact, because I like in my head, I feel like the story that I've told myself is that I have to make up for the moments in his life that I wasn't there. And what I'm doing is, instead of making up for those moments, I'm detracting now from I'm detracting from his life. Like I'm, you know, the image, the idea, the story of he gets to have this knowingness inside that I'm always going to be there for him is now less than because of what we're experiencing now. And I know it's not true.
Yeah.
I know it's not true. I know that it's like, I know that he knows that I love him, and I know that he feels loved by me, and I know that he has all of that stuff, right? But it still fucking sucks.
Yeah.
It still hurts way, way bad. And because I don't want to see him in pain. Like, I want things so much easier.
Yeah.
And there's so many dynamics of it, Steph, where it's like, it's playing out roles of shit that I experienced with my dad and the issues that I have with just love in men. Like the issues that I have with men and love are being affected and influenced and played out in various ways, shapes, and forms in Asher and I's relationship. And that pisses me off. Like, that makes me mad that I'm not doing a better job of not letting that shit fuck up the relationship that I have with my son. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that's super fucking frustrating. But then it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to change that or fix it. And I want it all now. Yeah. Like, I want it fixed immediately, because I feel like I'm playing I feel like it's this, you know, walking a tightrope between two buildings, and at any given point, one wrong step or just a fucking breeze from out of nowhere is going to make it all come tumbling down. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go. I don't know what to do. I feel helpless. I feel helpless in the space. I told you tonight before we recorded, I was helping him wash the dishes. And I wasn't helping him. I was sitting down and explaining to him how to wash the dishes in a very nice, polite way. I wasn't being a dick in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And it was so scary. It was like so stressful for me to do that, because I was so nervous about conflict between him and I. Because there's something about, like, he will move in a certain way and immediately it like activates some like lizard brain part of my like it's a caveman inside that gets activated that wants to hit him in the head with a club. Do you know what I mean?
That's not something he's doing, though.
No, that's not something he's doing. He's not telling himself. I'm saying that there's something about males and the dynamic of testosterone and all sorts of different stuff that is playing out right now. And it's bizarre, and I don't like it. And I don't know how to not do it. But it's not like I hit him in the head with a club, right? What I was saying is it scares me in moments like because of last night and because of his behavior last night. I was so tentative to try to interact with him in that way because I didn't want to upset him again, right? Because then if I like say something about washing the pot and then he's like, I'm done, I'm not washing the pot, and then he walks away, you know, then what? Then we're going to have another blow up fight argument over a fucking pan? No, we're not going to. But at some point I have to figure out a way to like communicate and connect and converse and explain and raise and teach. And I feel like you are judging me.
I'm not judging you.
That was not convincing.
Well, that's because I am experiencing things over here. Like you're at that state right now where you cannot hear anything else. So when I was just like making it a point of one thing, because we're having a conversation, we're on a podcast.
Oh yeah.
It's
the Energy of Love podcast.
You immediately were like shutting me down with that and laughing.
Was it the part about the testosterone clubbing
kind
head
of,
thing?
yeah.
So the reason that part was like, I felt like all you heard was, don't hit my kid in the head with a club, you Neanderthal.
Well, that's a given for one. Like, don't hit my kid in the head. Like, it's not going to go well. But no, I wasn't saying that because I don't think you're going to hit him in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, I don't like, no, it was, you said specifically that he does this thing and then this part of your brain goes. And so I was just simply saying, you see that that's all internal. What you're struggling with at that moment is not an external force that he's doing. That is all internal, is what I was bringing awareness to. Because you're like, this is hitting me here. So I was just mentioning that. But it's like you're at that state. You just want to be heard, which is fine. I can just sit here and hear because you don't hear anything else.
I agree. It is an internal thing that is going on in that moment. But the point that I was trying to explain about that one specific thing was it's a thing that is happening inside both him and I.
Okay, well, maybe you don't know what's happening in his head. You know what's happening in your head.
Okay. So what it feels like is a very base animalistic response of like I'm certain it's the same dynamic that has played out between father and son.
Yes.
Throughout history and time.
I believe that.
It's the thing of him trying to separate himself from, it's like taking control of his own life and his own masculinity, his own person. It's like in order to do so, he has to fight it away from me in some sense or something. I keep thinking of like lions or gorillas or something like that, where the younger gorilla challenges the older gorilla or something.
So I'm not going to do anything right in this moment, so I'm just not going to move.
You're not doing anything wrong.
Clearly.
I just don't feel like you validate what I just said.
I understand your animal instincts in there. You just don't. I'm not responding the way you want me to respond. And I think that's also the problem you have with him.
I loved how that one snuck out and you laughed and then you hurried up and grabbed your laugh.
Pull it back.
Hold on, girls. Don't get out. Come back in here. Don't fucking laugh.
It's hard. I struggle with my own things with him and with the girls. Like, I don't have shit figured out.
Yeah.
We had this conversation today. I'm like, I understand that this is something in me that I can't quite get to and that I'm struggling with, but I think that Yeah, totally doesn't feel safe to talk right now. I don't.
Excuse me.
I don't. Like, this is really hard because what I think needs to happen right now is I think you just need to vent all this and I just need to listen. But then I also think, is this the right, like, do you want to do that here? Because, like, the conversation, because usually what happens is it's this long process and you need to vent and you need to listen and just work through it. If you're willing to do that and be okay with long silences, and because I think you just need to be heard. I think that's both of your guys' issues. You both just need to be heard. And you just need to be heard without any insight or whatever from me or anyone else. Just for a moment. Not that it's your way and this is how it's going to be and your word is, whatever is now is shall be forever. You just, in this moment, you really need to be heard.
Yeah.
So can you dig into that? You can't wait for a response from me, but can you dig into that?
I agree. I think it is definitely a dynamic that I just need to be heard. I think he just needs to be heard, and I think him and I need to hear each other. I was thinking about that last night when you came upstairs after having been down there for a little bit, and literally all you did was listen to him, right? You just heard him. And I was thinking about how much he shuts down when he gets sad and upset and angry and just stops communicating with me. And how much I do the same with him. And he was like the things that he said to you last night about how I don't listen to him when he talks. And when you said that, as I was going to bed last night or this morning or at some point when I was thinking about it, I feel like that's literally the exact same thing that I would say to him. You don't listen to me when I talk. And I think I've said that to him multiple times.
Yeah.
So both of us are quite literally in the same boat, feeling the exact same thing, sitting there together, thinking about how this other motherfucker isn't listening to me when I talk and doesn't really care what I'm saying. So he's literally feeling exactly the same thing that I'm feeling, because I feel like he doesn't give a shit about what I have to fucking say. He could give two shits about what I'm fucking talking about, and that he just doesn't care about any of it. That he's basically checked out from listening to me as his father, and that now he's just going to fucking fight me until he can leave this fucking house and be done with it. That's what it feels like. And that breaks my heart. I mean, that just saddens me to all end. I have so much to teach him. I have so many things to share with him, so many things to show him. But it's so fucking frustrating when it feels like he doesn't listen to me. And it's not like you have to sit down and listen to everything that I'm saying in this moment, right? But like the simplest fucking thing of me approaching him today with the fucking pot, right? I wasn't being a dick. I was being super fucking nice and trying to just essentially teach him how to wash a fucking pan the right way. And there's fucking sass. There's fucking sass. And that's the part that it's like, well, then figure that shit out yourself. If you don't want to fucking sit there and learn how to do something, and then I'm going to teach you something from this place of like love and wanting you to learn so that you have a skill set, then fucking go figure that shit out. Go fucking fight the rest of the fucking world, and good luck. That's a small part that gets triggered inside of me. But the other part is just like we don't need to fight. We don't need to argue. I need to figure out a way to hear him. And like the really, really frustrating part, Steph, is that, and it's the same thing that you and I've talked about in regards to all the kids. It's like, it's up to us, right? It's not like I can sit here and wait for him to come to me and be like, well, Craig, I've really thought about it, and our communication really sucks, and I'm really wanting to improve it. So I'm hoping that you and I can sit down and spend some time together communicating and connecting with one another, because I realize that, I love you. He's not going to do that.
Yeah, the 14-year-old's probably not going to do that.
So I have to lead the way.
Yeah.
But it's so hard, and it's so scary, because I feel like there's so much at risk. Like the simplest thing of trying to teach him how to wash a pan, I risk losing him forever. That's what it feels like.
It's pretty intense.
So that's the walking, on a high wire.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Where
I can relate.
he will snap. I'll have to correct his behavior. it'll just be one more notch on the fuck you, Craig belt that he's got downstairs.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do. It scares the shit out of me. And as I speak all of these things and I say all of these things, like I said, I'm almost 100% certain all dads are feeling this way with their 14-year-old sons.
Yeah.
That it's probably 100% normal.
Probably. Can I say something else too?
Absolutely. As I spit all over the microphone.
It's just because I don't know. Like, I don't know what you're feeling. There's so many things that I can say coming from a mom's perspective. And then there's also so many things that I can say coming from I've been in your shoes on the other foot. Let me play the role. You know what I mean? There's also like that little bit of a vindictive part of me that's like, oh, motherfucker, let's gonna bring this back around. So there's all these things. So I am fully hearing you.
Okay.
Okay. But now I'm going to say something else.
I'm going to say something that's going to be really hard for you to hear.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It may not resonate with you, but it's screaming at me.
Let's hear it.
I feel like it's also getting harder, not just because he's going through puberty, right? He's bigger than me. Like, you're talking about how he squares up to you and sizes up. Wait till he's bigger than you.
He won't be taller than me.
Okay. Anyways.
I'll make sure of it.
It's like a whack-a-mole. Whack-a-kid.
Told you I got a club.
But there's something very unique about how hard of a time you're having right now and the age that he is right now. Because regardless of the role that your own dad played with you growing up, he was there up until this point. And this is where he's no longer really in your space. And now you're at a loss and you don't know what to do and everything feels final and
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the podcast. Tune in next week when we don't talk about anything. Simply push record and fucking go inside the house.
We're just going to drink next week. We're going to be like playing cards, playing solitaire by ourselves, and just doing shots.
It's a sex swing. Next week is all us in that fucking sex swing, drunk as hell.
Seriously though.
Go back. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
And I forget it.
Sorry.
I forget that that's a thing.
Yeah.
And you're right, it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. It is a very unique time because my parents got divorced when I was 14. And after that, my dad was in my life far less.
Yeah.
And I never got the opportunity to process through the divorce with him. Right? Definitely processed through layers of it with my mom over the years. But I never really got to process it with him, through it with him. Fuck. I don't know what that looks like. It's so hard for me to even connect to that kid, not our son.
I know.
It's so hard for me to connect to that boy, to see like, hey, what would you want to process through this divorce with your father? What would you want to say? He's like, I don't fucking know. Oh, fuck off. What do you mean process through? What does that boy need? I don't fucking need anything. It makes me so sad that he feels that, not the boy, not 14-year-old Craig. It makes me so sad that Asher feels that way. You know, he gets this disassociated feeling of like, I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. Take it all. I don't fucking care. Do you know what I mean? It makes me so sad that he feels that way. I hate that fucking feeling. Yeah. I hate getting into that spot in your life where you're just like, I don't care. Blow it all up. It don't fucking matter. I hate that feeling. I hate that he feels that. These last few months of corona, lockdown, virus, chaos, and I feel like all this did for me was like locked me inside of our house and allowed my anxiety to just come sit with me. It's like I got locked inside of a cabin in the woods with my anxiety. And it has fucked up some shit, Steph. You know, like if somebody comes to check on me and opens up that cabin door, it's a fucking ransacked fucking brawl fight in there. Like, you know, it's been hard. And I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to like come out of the cabin and go down to the lake and wash my hands and rinse off, and like I'm ready to move on now. I'm well acquainted with the anxiety that I live with, and it infects. It's a punny word. It infects so many different parts of me in my life. It feels like, you know. And it affects our relationship. It affects my relationship with myself. It affects all the relationships that I have with everybody. It affects my ability to just do about anything. So I'm grateful in one way, I suppose. That I've had such a unique opportunity to sit with it. Things slowed down enough finally where I didn't get to just keep running. I don't know what else to say, my love. I feel like I'm rambling. So I am committed to... You and I talked this morning about some other stuff too that I wanted to talk about on the show, but all of it is essentially how do we make peace with things inside of ourselves so that we can continue to like live happy, fulfilled lives and not be anxiety-ridden fucking chaos balls in regards to the happiness and well-being of our children. Because that's all I'm doing with Asher.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I just want the boy to be happy. I don't want him to struggle. And instead, I'm just like, oh my God, it's so fucking scary. It's so fucking, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want him to hate me.
Yeah.
And not just because I'm like, you know, it's nice to be loved by your kids and stuff like that. But it's also, I don't, like, I have so much to give him. And he has so much to give me. You know? Like, I want him in my life forever.
Yeah.
And it's so scary to think that he could make decisions one day and change that. And it seems silly to say it, but it's like he'll make those decisions one day because I made him wash pans. And I know that's silly. I know it is. But it doesn't change the nerves, the scare, the anxiety, the fucking fear. I'm going to crush the motherfucking
Do it.
rat.
It's not like I'm ready to get him.
So, thank you for listening. Like you said, you think I just needed to be heard and I just needed to talk. And I think you're right. I think there was a lot to, and there's more, as always, right? I don't feel super great, but I also feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can hit stop and I've got nowhere to go. I can sit here and listen to you.
Well, if we hit stop, and we are going to hit stop because we got to do stuff, but
just stay out here and talk to me.
I don't know. Maybe we'll start another fire. Maybe we'll do a fire tonight.
Oh, fuck the fire.
Do you not like the fire?
I do, but then you zone out. You're focused on that and keeping it going. All your attention goes there. You check out of what you're feeling and you put it all on the fire, and then we're not talking.
Hence why we should do a fire tonight.
No. I want to hear you.
Well, we should go inside so that we're not bitten by gnats.
Okay.
And I'll do my best to keep talking, Steph.
Okay.
I have not been doing a good job of talking to you or to anybody. Like anybody. Don't feel, singled out. I'm not talking to fucking anybody. I hate it. I'm fucking going crazy. Fucking fighting myself in circles. Like my anxiety knows how to fucking fight me. I swing and he ducks. And then he counters. And then he laughs. Ha 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 ha. I'm like, motherfucker, I'll get you next time. And then I swing and he ducks the other way. And then he laughs. Ha 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 ha. It's just hard. But that's what she said. Well, sweetheart, let's wrap up the show.
Let's do it.
Episode 195, folks. Thanks for hanging in there until the end. And tune in next week.
It's a mystery.
So we're going to fucking talk about something. Like we said at the beginning of the show, if you want to sponsor said podcast, fucking do it. We'd love to have your sponsorship. We are currently in the market for... What do we really need?
You want the mics.
Yes.
I'm
sure.
thinking a mortgage payment.
We are in the market. If you are the mortgage payment company and you would like to sponsor the podcast, you can do that. No. Send us some money, though. That'd be cool. We'll take it. Right?
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thank you in advance. And thank you for listening. And thank you for subscribing. And we haven't said it in a while, but go tell somebody about the podcast. Right?
Right.
Go tell your visiting home teachers when they come over tomorrow to celebrate your birthday with a cupcake. Tell
You
them.
never know. Let people make their own decisions. They might like it.
Tell them about the Energy is Love podcast. I love you.
I love you.